What's up, everyone? This is the Demo Team Podcast. We are the only podcast that supports your addiction, Dance Gavin Dan. It is May 17th. My name's Cash Spicer. As always, we have Moses with us.
Yo.
How you doing, Moses?
Doing good, man. It's raining here in California. We don't get enough of it, so I'm not complaining.
It was raining yesterday in Texas.
Yeah, and I can't leave my home, so it is what it is.
Guess it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get to play in the rain.
Is it raining in Florida, David?
Apparently it rained yesterday, but I think I slept through it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's been smooth sailing.
A lot of precipitation. What about you, Ryan? Did you get any rain?
I got no fucking rain. Y'all lucky. What the fuck?
Wait.
No, it's been sunny and windy, and at night my room absorbs all that heat throughout the day, so I sleep in a little small oven when the whole rest of the house is cold as a nice little refrigerator that's been open for a couple hours.
Aren't y'all supposed to be in a drought?
Windows
always
or not, or close to put the AC on.
Yeah, California is always in a drought. We got this big thing called the ocean right next to us, but there's a drought.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you can't really use the seawater to make things not a drought because it has salt in it. But
yeah, it's not like we invented boiling water or
you
water
can't boil
filtration.
Salt out of. I mean,
we got water filtration. We can clean shit out of water and recycle it into the city, but we can't recycle.
It costs a lot of money to get to purify salt water.
I would imagine so, but wouldn't all of our crops dying and everything just going to waste without water also be very detrimental to our financial situation, being the sixth largest economy?
I don't think it would cost as much though than to purify the water. But
is this a Dance Gavin Dance podcast or a water filtration podcast?
Sometimes it is. But if you have the answer to this question, listeners, please DM us and let us know which would cost more, for all the crops in California to die, or for them to purify water constantly out of the ocean to support all the crops.
On that segue, today we have a very special interview today on the Demo Team Podcast with Amarionette. Please stay tuned.
All right, we're here with Amarionette today. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
I am Nick. I play guitar for Amarionette.
And I'm Ron. I play bass.
Cool.
Nice.
So I'm going to hand it off to Moses. Let's let him start off.
All right. Well, I guess we can start off by give us a quick rundown of the band, like how'd you guys start out and how'd you all meet, and give us a brief history.
So Amarionette started technically in this somewhat carnation of Amarionette started in 2010. Quinn and a guy named Paul that was in the band prior 10 years ago, they were looking for new members. Quinn had contacted Ron, and then Quinn contacted myself separately, and our drummer at the time, Justin, and we kind of formed from there. And then the very long story short is we parted ways with Quinn in 2017, and Izzy is our current vocalist, and we have done 2 EPs with him to date, and this full length that is not yet out. But that is the very, very
very condensed
story of 10 years. So we skipped 7 years, and yeah, we're here now. So.
All right.
So you have your case of artist vocalist switch up already too, huh?
One more time.
You have your case of vocalist switch up already, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it happens, man.
Yeah, definitely a lot in this genre for sure.
Check off of the genre characteristics. It seems that a lot of bands in this kind of post-hardcore, swancore, kind of go through different vocalists, and sometimes it really works out as a benefit to the band, and I think you guys are kind of proof of that as well. I mean, the your guys' first EP, I think it was called Chapters. Like, it was, really solid. And what you guys are doing now, I think, Evolution, and you guys had a couple songs before that EP and everything out like after, like it's solid as well. I'm kind of interested to kind of pick your guys' brain, and if you guys could tell me like what are some of your musical influences.
Go ahead, Ron.
Mine are gonna wildly be different than Nick's over there, but growing up, I have older parents, so I grew up on like, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Prince, Michael Jackson. I wasn't really introduced into rock music until like, my brother brought around like Rage Against the Machine and Korn and things like that, along with like Wu-Tang Clan. So the music taste is kind of eclectic, but a lot of influences of like D'Angelo, Erykah Badu. Like I'm really rooted in like that R&B / hip hop style. But I wasn't until like middle school, high school that I really got into like the post-hardcore scene. So.
Dude, I'm similar in that way. I have a Wu-Tang Clan tattoo, so we'll have to talk about them like off air a little.
I'm down.
Yeah, I think we all started middle to high school, and I definitely sense the Prince and Michael Jackson vibes. Nice stuff.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's a great selection too. Marvin Gaye is great. Big Michael Jackson fan for sure. Definitely Prince too. What else we got, guys?
Yeah, Nick, what are some of your influences?
I think the only thing I ever really listened to up until I was about 10 years old was Van Halen.
That's so epic.
And then when I got into like middle school, high school, I really got into Seosin. Seosin was like the band that got me into like the genre that we're somewhat in right now. Got really into Seosin, Circa, Paramore. The Dangerous Summer was a really good band that I listened to. And as far as that, like post-rock or whatever, Taking Back Sunday too. I was really into Taking Back Sunday in high school. And then recently the last like couple years, I've really been into the Midnight, FM 84, like a lot of like electronic 80s retro synth pop stuff, I guess.
Synthwave, man, that shit's cool.
Yeah, that's ever since like the Stranger Things soundtrack came out, it was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
And then there's that movie Drive.
Yeah.
Drive. That Kavinsky.
Yeah. Exactly.
Night Call.
Yeah. That kind of blew up, cool. Synthwave from like the underground. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I've always been like a big fan of like Carpenter Brut and like Dance with the Dead. Like those guys are all cool. Like all the synthwave, even like darkwave, all that stuff. Like it's just so fresh, and you can just listen to it whenever.
Yeah, all that stuff is great, man.
Yeah.
Now I'm not too familiar with Stranger Things. What's the soundtrack kind of aimed towards in genre, I suppose?
80s.
80s synthwave.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like what's his name? Carpenter.
John Carpenter. Yeah.
John Carpenter soundtracks. Like
yeah. I was like trying to
like,
think of what it was, but yeah, that was it.
Like Halloween.
Heavy fat synths and like gated drums, man. It just makes it
like,
interesting.
Piano over the top and stuff like that.
And the inspiration on like Evolution, like you can totally like sense that. Like that's really cool. Like just to know that like the mindset behind it is really awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. I was gonna say though, like you mentioned Seosin, it must be crazy because like you guys have worked with Bo before, right?
Yeah. We recorded drums with Bo for a couple songs off the Evolution EP. He mixed the single Nerve that we did in 2018.
Yeah.
And he recorded drums for this whole LP that we did. Well, Joseph Arrington from Bro Coda, A Lot Like Birds, he played drums on this record, and we recorded it with Bo. for the drums.
Wow,
Dude,
nice feature there.
That's awesome because Ryan actually showed me the production notes for your latest single, and I saw Joseph's name stuck out, and so did Bo's. I know Bo has produced a lot of like bands within the genre, so it must have been like pretty cool working with him.
Yeah, like the coolest dude. He's extremely down to earth, and he knows music very, very well. So, I mean, yeah, he's great.
That's
awesome.
That's cool to know, man. So you guys are from Vegas, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I've always been kind of interested in like how the music scene was over there, because like you have like some almost larger than life bands that have like popped out of Vegas, like the Killers and Panic at the Disco. Like one of my favorite bands that didn't blow up that was from Vegas was called The Hire. So like other than that, I don't really know like much bands from that area.
Yeah, Vegas is kind of eclectic, I guess. It's a really hard scene, quote unquote, to break into because there's so much competition in Vegas. I mean, you have the Strip, there's a million different things happening all at once, right? So, I guess in the local world, you can go and do a million other things. It's really hard to convince people to, I guess, not go and do something else. Or I guess currently it's easier when you have shows like in Old Vegas, like Fremont Street, places like that, because afterwards you can go and get people to go party or go hang out with your friends down there, or you know what I mean? You have to make it part of the night as opposed to like the whole night, because there's always something going on. I guess prior to COVID-19, but like there's always something going on in Vegas, so it's really hard to make that the entire night, I guess.
Yeah, I can imagine. So were you guys taking a lot of trips to like, I don't know, Southern California, Northern California to like play shows and get your name out there?
Yeah, for a while I think people were associating us as a Sacramento band because of how much we were working with Kurt, and we were Kurt's backing band for several tours, and we still work with him pretty closely, and he's still a good friend of ours. So for a while there, people didn't even know that we weren't from Sacramento.
Yeah, I was actually gonna bring up Kurt because you guys had him featured in like I think a song and did two other kind of one-off singles with him, and like you mentioned, and I know this, that you guys have been his backing band, and I think your first album was on his record label. Like, can you kind of dive into your relationship with him? How did that come about?
Yeah. Ron, you have something?
No, I can't even like really remember. Like it feels like it's been so long. I can't even like remember exactly how, like, to pinpoint like how did that come about. Like,
well, it's our relationship started through Zach Guerin, and Zach Guerin used to also play in DGD, I'm sure, as you guys know, and Zach and I had started talking online. I don't know how we started talking, but we did, and he found our EP Picture Perfect. And Zach was very fond of that EP. He really liked it. And he, at the time, was like, yo, Kurt's starting a record label, and I want to pitch this to him. So Kurt loved it. And we struck up conversations in 2014 before the label was even around, and was like, dude, I want to sign you guys, blah, blah, blah. And at the time, I was still in college, and I had like a year and a half left to go. And I was very reluctant to signing, I guess, at that point in time, because I was like, I really don't want to stop school at this point and just go on tour. And you got to remember too, at the time, like, these artists weren't nearly as big. You know, DGD was not even close to as big as they are now. And I don't know, we just didn't have the experience. It was multiple things, but yeah, long story short, he heard us back then. He wanted to sign us. We declined. He ended up starting Esk, I think, in 2015 officially. And then once I had finished school, we had recorded our second full length at the time, Repeating History, because we put out a self-titled one in 2013. He picked up the Repeating History, and he was like, yeah, I'm ready to sign when you guys are. And we signed on, and next thing we knew, we were on that Esk Records tour with us, Kurt, and Lemix J. Buckley. And excuse me, yeah. And then ever since, we've stayed in pretty good touch with Kurt, and we've had our pretty consistent relationship. When we parted ways with our singer back in 2017, we had I guess we had this idea where we were going to put out an EP or an LP with a bunch of different singers. Like, we had done demos with Andrew Wells of Idola.
Wow.
We tried to get Tillian on another track, but that never formulated into anything. What's his name of Bell the band? Joey. They used to be Bell and the Wire, but now they're just called Bell. We had a couple ideas with him, and then we came across Izzy, and the rest was history. But we ended up keeping what we did with Kurt, and after a while, we basically just got the go-ahead to put out the songs that we had done with Kurt before Izzy was even in the band. So that's like the entire story of the working with Kurt. And then there's a song on this new record with Kurt too.
Oh,
not
dude.
a full, but it's like easy to get.
Dropping major bombs, dude. That's awesome. I was actually gonna ask you about this.
Are you allowed to say that?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask you about this.
Spoiler.
Because I think on Instagram I saw that Joey from Moria said he was gonna have some feature or guest vocals on the album as well. Is that right?
Yeah, he is.
Yep.
We did like this really weird song, and we couldn't think of. This song annoyed the shit out of Ron. And I was like, dude, we need something for this song. So I hit up Joey, and I was like, yo, this song is gonna be on the record. And I gave him a couple songs to choose from, and he chose that song of all the ones. He was like, this is so cool. It's by far the most experimental track you guys have. And I was like, cool. And he came up with a bridge for it. And I guess it's going to be Screaming Serious Business Part 3. But it turned out pretty cool after a lot of makeup and revisions and stuff. It came out really dope.
That's epic. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I'm looking forward to hearing it because, like, I feel like I don't know, there's something about like picturing like your guys as a new vocalist and Joey just coming together on a track. Like, I think it'll be a banger for sure. Like,
yeah, they balance each other out. Like, Izzy's more of like a pop R&B vocalist, you know? So, and Joey is a pretty, dude, Joey's a great vocalist himself, man. Like, Joey's great. So, yeah, he's more gritty though. You know, he's got like a lot of rasp and stuff to his tone, where Izzy's very clean sounding. So, yeah, it came together really cool.
I can see that, yeah.
I'd say some rasp was always appreciated, some vocals. But shoot, I also like kind of how Tillian balances between raspy and clean. Sorry, I just...
Yeah. That's best of both worlds.
Yeah. Who's got a question now? Let's go next.
Well,
go
since,
or Moses.
I don't know. Since somebody mentioned Tillian, and I figured I'd ask about a Dance Gavin Dance cover that you guys dropped a while back. You guys did a cover of Perfect, which it was an awesome cover, and it kind of interested me because that's such a like deep cut, like out of their catalog. Like, what made you pick that song?
I think it's the only song that really fits us. To be honest with you, I didn't really. from our perspective, that the only reason we ever did that cover in the first place was, for the fans to connect with more fans. We put out like a poll on Twitter, and we were like, we want to do a cover. What band should we do? And obviously, our fans are predominantly DGD fans or Coheed fans, and we just decided, I guess, out of all the songs that we could do, this one was it was a deep cut, so I thought that was kind of unique in itself. I think that's a really underappreciated track, and I don't know.
It was a weird release too for it.
Yeah, and that was weird for that band, I think.
What's funny is I don't even think I was a fan of dance before like Nick really was when I joined, and I had never heard this song. When he was like, "We're gonna cover this song," and I'm like, "What? What song are you talking about?"
It's a Hot Topic exclusive. You had to like buy it at Hot Topic during like a special promo or something.
I'm surprised y'all never considered Blue Dream, maybe. I feel like that's kind of a little closer to your style.
Yeah, I mean that's a good song too. I don't know. It's hard to do John Mess, I guess, when you don't have anybody in the band that screams, and we're not that style at all.
Yeah, I understand that.
If you don't mind me asking, what Coheed songs were y'all thinking about doing?
Oh man, Nick, how about that? What's your favorite Coheed song, dude?
None of them. No, in all seriousness, I think Coheed's they're a great band. I'm not a huge fan of them by any means. The only reason I ever knew who Coheed was because everybody under the sun used to tell us, "Hey man, your singer sounds just like Coheed and Cambria." I was like, who the hell is Coheed and Cambria? Mind you, this 10 years ago. I had no idea who they were. And then I was like, oh, I get it now. But if I was to do any song by Coheed, it would be Number City.
All right.
Nice.
What about you, Ron?
Man, I know it's like the cop out, but like Welcome Home is still one of my favorite songs, man. I love that song. Like today, like you can put that song on, it still just smacks, bro. It's still just so good.
Yeah, it's kind of like that modern rock anthem, I guess, right? Like
like those guitar solos at the end, like and like that, man. It feels so good. Like you can't hate the song.
Shit, he's right. He's not lying.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Blood Red Summer fan myself. Like it's just like got a good little poppy sound to it.
Yeah.
And
I always liked House Atlantic.
House Atlantic's good. I always liked Blood Red Summer's music video. I thought that music video was a super cool idea with the zombie type thing.
Dude, it really was. And I feel like within I don't know, kind of that genre, like music videos kind of fall short, and that was really, really entertaining.
Now, I've heard of Coheed and Cambria for about a little over 5 years now, but I've heard a single or two here, but what would you say is a good album to kind of start in?
Just go with 4. That's probably the go-to.
4?
Yeah. Ivy.
Just listen to Evolution. People say that a Marionette sounds like them, so who needs a Coheed when you got a Marionette?
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's listen to you guys more.
Who wants to ask a question next?
Cash, I think you, right?
You want me to? All right. This is probably going to be the hardest question for y'all the whole interview. All right. Hope y'all are ready.
Bring it on.
Who had the better Hannah Montana song, Amarionette or Migos?
Oh.
Migos. Is that even a freaking question?
I'm pretty sure we used Hannah Montana because of the Migos.
Yeah. Well,
I got white.
I don't know why Quinn named it that, but I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm serious, because we used to sing the Hannah Montana song, and I'm pretty sure it's let's call it Hannah Montana.
Yeah, that was.
All right, that's a good reason. Yeah. That's a Demo Team exclusive right there.
All I'm gonna say is nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect is top tier.
Wow.
Shoot. Hey, I'll petition the cover for that.
This is now the Hannah Montana podcast. So
this is obviously the Billy Ray Cyrus podcast. Come on, guys, let's stay on top.
my achy breaky heart podcast.
Yeah, there you go. See.
All right. So y'all, this for my next question. Y'all kind of answered it a little bit earlier when we were talking about influences, but I was kind of wondering, were there any like direct classic rock influences? And I think David was also wondering this too. Like, are y'all ever trying to emulate any classic rock bands? Because y'all do kind of have a little bit of that sound, while also sounding very fresh.
I mean, like I said, I naturally just love Van Halen, so I mean, like we're doing a Van Halen cover at some point. Like,
nice.
The music is done. It's like a deeper, like, no, I guess it was a single actually in the 80s. It was a Hagar.
A Hagar? Okay. I was about to ask, but
track. It was off of 5150. It was called Why Can't This Be Love?
Oh yeah. That's a
great song.
That's a good song.
But
it's great, but
doing it sounds a little bit different, obviously.
All right. Yeah.
Friggin' 34 years later, but yeah. Anyways, I mean, so I just have a natural, I guess, Van Halen influence. Izzy's biggest influence by far is Michael Jackson. So, I mean, he naturally tends to sing, I guess, sort of like that.
All right.
Yeah. I was never huge into classic rock, so I can't really speak. I think the most classic rock I really got into was like Hendrix in that era. So.
All right. That's fair. So musically, you guys seem to kind of break the conventions of your genre a lot, and so I'm kind of wondering.
What is our genre?
I mean,
what do you put us in? Honestly,
the Swancore, perhaps. I don't know. It is very murky though. But I'm wondering, like, are y'all trying to do that, or do y'all just kind of end up doing it? Would you say?
Simple question, man. It's modern disco. I mean,
modern disco.
Sure.
I like that.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in the early days, we were trying to appeal to that crowd. Well, it wasn't Swancore back then. It was we wanted to sound like more like a harder Paramore. I think was
all right.
Especially Quinn, but Quinn, no matter what, his voice kind of had that timbre that was similar to Claudio's. So we always had that Claudio comparison. But really, I think Quinn always loved Anthony Green more than anybody. Yeah. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so.
I think Quinn loved Anthony Green, and that was his biggest influence. Between Anthony and Haley, and it kind of came out how it did.
All right.
But yeah, we never really tried to sound like anything other than like a post-rock band, but we never were like, oh man, we need to sound more like a Swancore group. I mean, we kind of
y'all were just kind of doing your own thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, for example,
it was kind of a weird question, I guess, but it was like, yeah, just keep going. I'll try to think of how to.
I guess people just kind of try to put you in that box because of the people that you've worked with, like even somebody like Andres, who you guys have worked with in the past, like isn't really Swancore per se, but people still kind of like
associate it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just because he's from Sacktown and like he's worked a lot with Kurt but yeah, I would say you guys definitely have like your own vibe going.
Like, yeah. Sorry. Do you have anything else to say? Or
I guess I had one more kind of like I had one more, and it's kind of off the last question. It was so like what kind of new sounds are y'all gonna have like on the new record, if y'all can say?
Far funky.
What would you say, Ron? Funky. Go for it.
It's like it's really it's funny to say it's really an evolution off of what Evolution was.
All right.
So it's kind of taking that idea and running with it. You know, it's definitely different from Evolution, but it's definitely like a growing experience. I think Nick really did a good job of like writing like some of the coolest guitar parts and adding Arrington in with it just elevates the whole thing to just it makes you want to dance. You're gonna sing along. Like it's probably one of my favorite albums we've done in a long time.
All right, I think we could all use an album like that right now.
Yeah, you know, like I would agree. Like as far as Nick's guitar playing and like even in Evolution, like some of those guitar riffs are like so catchy. Like they're almost like catchier than like the melodies. So looking forward to hearing more of that on the new record.
I guess I'm so tied into this record. I guess I've been working on it tirelessly the last 2 months that it's cool to get other opinions on it outside of myself and Izzy. Izzy and I have been like just crushing these vocals the last 2 months via FaceTime sessions. So I guess I listen to them a little bit differently, but yeah, there's definitely some songs that are similar to Evolution. Like there's a Modern Disco 3 that is more reminiscent of the first Modern Disco than the second one.
Okay.
It's honestly more truly just disco. It's kind of crazy. It's really fun. There is a Screaming a Serious Business 3 that doesn't really, I mean, it kind of ties into it guitar-wise. It kind of ties into the older ones. But then there's just songs that are, like, very mellow-ish, like, that are kind of dreamy and atmospheric that are, I don't want to say they're boring, but they're, like, the choruses are so, like, you I don't know. It's very easy to listen to. It's not, like, we didn't create the wheel by any means. Like, we're not doing anything out of the ordinary for Amarionette, I guess, other than the topics on the record are different than previous records. I wrote about 9 or 10 songs myself, so that's like a new territory for this album. I've never really written lyrics before, and Izzy and I collaborated. We had like a great whatchamacallit?
Chemistry.
Great partnership, I guess, on the lyrics and melody. And I guess that's what kind of makes it different than the other records.
All right.
Yeah, if I could say that after, getting up and dancing and boogieing, it's nice to have some easy listening to contrast it all. If anything, I'd say that makes more of a full record and experience.
Yeah, I think when you hear the opening title or like the opening track of this record, the working title is called Spaz. I mean, it'll have a different title. But so the record will start off like, whoa, like this is super technical and crazy. Like, what the hell's going on? This isn't chill like you guys said it would be.
I love that.
And then it's pretty like
you lied to us.
Yeah, it's one of the most probably the most technical thing I've ever written. Like just the intro.
Oh, we love to see that.
Totally different. I don't know. It's a combination of different influences for sure.
All right. Well,
I'm getting psyched just thinking about it.
I'm definitely more excited about it now after hearing all that. So, who
Definitely
wants to go next?
Do you have any?
Haven't seen you guys like play live and stuff. Just knowing like the stage presence and how much energy you guys put out. What's the thought process like? Do you guys feeling the music? Or are you trying to get the crowd into it, or is it just it's a show and you got to put on the best damn show in the world?
Go ahead, Ron.
I think it's just feeling the music. I mean, I'd be a liar if I said that every single night you're ready to go up there and give it your all. Like, you might be sore from the last time. I had a few shows the last tour. I was dog sick, like fever, coughing. Like, last thing I wanted to do was go up there and play. But you kind of get this, like, you get in this zone where the music kind of takes over, and it sounds so cliche in the sense of like it goes away, but it goes away. Like you're there, you're with fans, you're feeling good, and you kind of just forget about all that, and you find this like extra wind inside of you that you just want to put on a good show, and you want to not only feel the music, but yeah, you do want to put on a good show. These people came out to see you, and I just want to make sure everyone leaves with like this sense of like, holy shit, these guys killed it. They leave you with a story to go home with, and want you to come see the next one, you know? So I don't think there's any thought process behind it. I think we all just really enjoy what we do. At the same time, we do want to put on a show.
I'm gonna say that he's completely right, because I went to like 3 or 4 Amarionette shows last year.
Oh, well, thank you.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to say, from Jack's Florida here, actually around April, I was going to see a show with you, Andreas Dwellings and all of them. I was going to see them, it was like April 16th, but of course, got canceled. So I would have seen y'all out there.
Where at? In Jacksonville, you said?
Yes, Jacksonville. I can't remember the venue, but it was only 35 minutes away, man. Real close from my house. I was going to be there, man. Bought my ticket.
Well, hopefully at some point these shows are, I mean, hopefully next year they're rescheduled or whenever they decide to lift restrictions or whatever. But we'll definitely be. We have but to go on a full U.S. at this point. So we were really looking forward to this tour, and that's all we were preparing for. That's why we got this record out and done a lot sooner now. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Next year kind of deal. But you said a definite like kind of, or you're hoping for like a full U.S. thing. Cause shoot,
yeah,
hate to miss it.
Hopefully this same exact tour happens, but just at a time.
Yeah, that tour was really packed with talent. Like
It's
you
juicy.
guys, Andres, Dwellings, and Strawberry Girls.
Funky.
Would have been our biggest tour for sure.
Yeah, it would have been huge.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you guys have been, around for a minute. Is there any like past tours that really stood out to you? Like whether it's like, we really vibed, touring with this band or something that was like maybe like a tour that was like super memorable.
Any tour that we've done with Kurt was pretty memorable.
Yeah.
Man.
Also, I can't say enough about Idola, man. Those guys are wicked dope, man. Andrew Wells is one of the coolest guys. Like, he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, Andrew is, Andrew's like the kindest person ever.
And a beast at vocals, man. Like,
oh yeah, he's got a great voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's a hard worker.
Yeah, he's great.
Man,
and he's ripped too, apparently.
He is pretty ripped.
So with the like canceling of shows because of the pandemic, like a lot of us are kind of stuck at home, and you guys brought up Stranger Things. Is there anything that you guys been binging?
What you been binging, Nicholas?
I don't know, man. What was I watching?
You've been watching that Jordan doc.
The Jordan documentary. Yeah.
The one that me and Moses always miss because we record on Sundays.
Dude, I love that friggin' documentary. I'm a big sports nut, so for me.
Oh, nice.
Great.
It's crazy how like into sports Nick is, y'all. Like, I can't stress that enough.
Are y'all?
He's like an encyclopedia.
Are y'all gonna be Raiders fans now?
Hell
no.
Shoot. Yeah, it's like I play sports. I like them, but I'm not enough to like watch consistently. Have a team myself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. That sucks.
Yeah.
I know. I've been really, really wanting to watch that Jordan documentary.
Yeah, me too.
I'll probably.
Dude, it's so good.
I'll probably get.
I just pretend like I know what's going on when I go on Twitter, like Sunday nights.
See all that, you're like, oh wow,
yeah, that sounds funny and cool.
I didn't really get to see Jordan play a lot, so this is like, it's really cool to see MJ in action.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I was more the Kobe Shaq era of basketball.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in my 30s, so I was kind of watching the tail end of the Jordan era. Like when I was younger, like my dad used to watch it, and I remember, watching Jordan, Pippen,
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, Rodman, Kukoc, like oh, it's another, playoffs against like the Jazz or whatnot.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool to relive those old like childhood memories.
Yeah, that's cool for y'all.
The same thing. I was like 6 years old. That was like my first basketball memory was like the Jazz and the Bulls.
Yep.
All I know is Scottie Pippen had some really good shoes back then, man.
Wasn't
it like Jordans?
It's cool that y'all got to experience Jordan. My earliest memory is like Big 3 in Dallas and Big 3 in San Antonio. So, because I'm from Texas, so.
Yeah.
That moment, your earliest experience with Space Jam.
Dude, that was my movie growing up.
That's still the movie. I think it's on Netflix now.
Between Space Jam and Twist, those were my two.
It was
pretty sure I got Space Jam on VHS somewhere.
And they're making a sequel for all the boys and girls of today.
Yeah. Oh wait, did y'all ever hear about they were gonna make a Skate Jam movie with Tony Hawk?
What?
Yeah,
that would have been the coolest movie ever.
Oh. Isn't that what's it's Brendan Fraser's fault though, because his movie failed.
The Looney Tunes back in action.
Yeah, it failed. I mean, it's a terribly written movie. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not just Brendan Fraser's fault.
I hear people like some people like really like it, but it just like did so badly. But I mean it's an alright movie for like the first like 20-30 minutes, and then it just kind of derails and just becomes like random non sequiturs and just nonsense. Like, I mean, even Space Jam was kind of like that though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but it's Space Jam, bro. It's the original.
It's true. It's Space Jam. All right.
You weren't lying. No, next year, July 21st, there's going to be a second Space Jams. I thought you were lying.
Yeah. It's LeBron.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's great. Yep.
Got to ruin everybody's childhood.
Will LeBron even still be good by then? Yeah, he will be.
Oh, yeah. He'll
be fine. He's gonna have all this rest because I don't think they're gonna finish the season.
All right, I guess I got a question for Nick since I know he's kind of like a sports nut. Like how do you feel LeBron would hold up like back in the 90s? Like if he was to play against like that old Chicago Bulls crew?
That's such a loaded question. Dude,
off the record.
It's pretty hard to say, man. I mean, look at LeBron. He's freaking 6'8", 260 pounds. I mean, but at the same time, dude, like, I don't know. LeBron is like the biggest flopper of like modern basketball too. Not the biggest, but he definitely flops and takes advantage of it. And back then they were so physical, dude. Like, man, Michael got beat up, and that Pistons team, they would beat you up. Like, they would literally like fist fight back then. You don't see anything even close to that now. So I don't know. It was a different game. But yeah, I mean, I think I think LeBron could definitely be, I mean, he's still a freak of nature as far as athleticism is concerned. So, I mean, that could really go either way. I
think so too, man. Because like, yeah, I guess you can say the league is kind of, soft now compared to how it was in the 90s. But I mean, look at LeBron. He, like you said, he's like a beast, man. And like back then, there weren't too many players that were like that athletic. I think Scottie Pippen was really like the only one that comes to mind. And like, he had like
pretty athletic though too.
Yeah,
yeah. Moses, I think I know what your opinion on this matter is.
What?
I think you think LeBron would have kicked their ass based on what you just said.
Dude, I mean, if you had LeBron like physically fit like he is now, I think
it's hard to take him down.
Yeah. Like, who would chase him around besides, like, I don't know, your
Magic,
Pippins, and like I feel like a Karl Malone or even a Sean Kemp wouldn't be able to keep up with him.
No.
I think the real question is how far would a Marionette get in the NBA?
We're pretty short, so he'd get fucked up pretty quick.
I'm not short. I was gonna
get a lottery pick.
Ron's like 6'4", and he would be like an average basketball player. So the rest of us are like,
So what you're saying is he would be the MVP of the team.
Correct.
If I could shoot like Curry and I are like the exact same size, like weight for weight, like pound for pound, height, like exactly the same, except I can't shoot threes like him. So.
Yeah, Curry's a beast too, man. Like,
he's a beast when you shoot, but he's so small. Like, anytime he try to drive up the middle, LeBron would just be like, "Get that shit out of here! Like, don't stop! Like,
go home."
I don't know. I love Curry though. Curry's nasty.
Oh, he's nasty. He's disrespectful with those threes, bro. Like,
Draymond though, I fucking love Draymond.
I'm a big Curry fan, and like I feel like, in the last, obviously he got injured this last season, but even the season before that, like he kind of hasn't like lived up to what was it? I think 2012 was like his real breakout season where they like beat the Bulls record but ended up losing.
No, that was like 2016.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 26.
Sorry, 2012
yeah.
Like started. Yeah. But I hope that he's able to like pick it back up and
Shit, man, they're on par to get the number 1 draft pick, so I think they'll be okay with Curry playing.
Oh, they'll get it for sure.
Yeah. They'll be fine.
Should we
so
get
if we
back
pedal,
to the music?
I got 2 questions I could ask back to back. All right, guys, you were talking about like music and stuff that you had recorded with different singers and stuff, and I know I've read an interview before where you guys were talking about like before you'd released the Kurt Travis songs, they're kind of just sitting in a vault with songs that you guys had in like your pocket. So I was curious, like you were mentioning like Iadola and like all these other singers of songs you had almost finished. Is there any of these songs like ever going to see the light of day, or is there any more?
Hear the Andrew Wells demo. Nobody will. We won't. Just because like it didn't form. If we were going to release anything with Andrew, at one point in time, Andrew and I were seriously talking about him being our vocalist. And at that point, when Andrew was recording with us, it was like, no, man, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. And it just never formed. Like, it didn't happen. I guess our ideas of, at the time anyway, like our idea of what the poppier side of music was different, I guess. Love Andrew. Andrew's like the best dude ever. I friggin' love that guy. But yeah, it just didn't work out as we had hoped. And I just don't, it honestly, the song that we sent him ended up being Baddest. And, it just didn't pan out. So I don't want to really ever release that.
Makes sense. 100% makes sense.
But we have a song today. I was going through our vault, and there's this song. It was just called 8-String Demo, and our old guitar player is actually retracking some of the parts for it right now, and I'm gonna work on it with Izzy. So that demo is from like 2014 or 2015 when I was like super into my 8-string, and it's like really heavy. Something totally different off the wall for us. And then we have 2 tracks from 2017 where we recorded like 19 songs or 20 songs, something like that. And I have 2 from that vault that we will probably work on as singles once we finish the cover and the record and all that stuff. So
that's awesome, man.
And then I have 5 songs written for another album.
Nice. All right. That's a pretty stacked vault, man. I think Scrooge McDuck would be jealous of that vault. So my next question, I don't know if anyone else has questions after this. Maybe this wraps it up. But if the world went back completely normal, like no risks, no nothing, tomorrow, if it went back to normal, what would be the first thing that a Marionette would do?
I would probably hit up Zach and Ben more than I already do from Strawberry Girls and be like, yo, when are we doing this tour? Come on, got to talk to Donovan, dude. Like, let's do this tour. Right? and that would probably be the start of it.
All right.
Nice. Ron?
Awesome answer.
That's exactly what would happen.
You'd be over his shoulder.
I'm his henchman. Yeah, I'm his henchman.
Yeah,
awesome.
I love those guys. Those guys are great. And I really want to do that tour. I was looking really forward to doing that tour. Yeah, I would probably hit up him. And, yeah, Zach, Ben. And then I would immediately follow that up with Andreas and be like, dude, so what are we doing with this tour? Like, what's going on? And that's about how it would go.
That's awesome.
You mentioned Ben, and, he's been doing some pretty cool, like, solo stuff. Have you guys ever gone into the studio with him at all?
No, but I've Ben has we've talked about possibly like collaborating on something, especially during like when this all started, the pandemic and everything. We had thrown around ideas of like, dude, Strawberry Girls should collaborate with Amarionette and get Andreas on it so we can have like a song for the tour, like the three like collaboration.
Yeah.
But I mean, Amarionette has just been so focused on. We just finished vocals for the record 2 nights ago. So like that's all I've been trying to focus on. But now that we have some more free time, I've been working on just another record. And then like guitar wise anyway, I've just been coming up with riffs for something new. And then, yeah, I mean, our schedules are a little bit more free now.
Cool. Yeah, I have one more question. Do we know when the new album's gonna drop?
July 17th.
July 17th. Awesome.
2 months. Wonderful.
Yeah, and then I saw on some of the questions, I know you guys were wondering who the features were besides. So Kurt, Andreas, we had to do another song with Andreas and Joey from Amarionette.
All right.
Features.
Awesome. I'm glad you guys are doing another song with Andreas because Be Nasty's like my favorite song by you guys.
Oh, that's a great song.
This one is so much fun too. This one's called Throwing Rocks. It's really fun. It's really good. It's not Fertilize Your Eggs goofy, but it's pretty goofy.
Fertilize your eggs.
I love that line, like the way that he like delivers that line, like I'm just singing it like all the time. I'm like, my wife's like, what?
When I heard, I was like, dude, we're gonna get shit on for this. I don't think we should do this. Blah blah blah. And then it turned out really good.
He's very tongue in cheek with his lyrics, so.
Oh, very.
Yeah, I love Andreas though, man. I love his records. I like his new album a lot too. He sent me some demos that he's got going on too. Dude's a genius. I love Andreas. Great guy.
Hey, I'll agree. Actually, he hit the playlist today. Actually, love him.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Yeah, dude.
All right. Well, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, David, do you have anything or?
Oh, I'm good for now.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I think that
I
think that pretty much that wraps it up. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of our hearts here at the demo team for giving us the time of day and talking with us. It was a really enjoyable conversation. Mad respect. I've played shows with you guys. Stay still, Amarionette, great shit. Love you guys. Thank you once again.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, this was great. Hit us up if y'all want to come back on sometime.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nice. You guys have a great day.
You too.
Awesome. You guys too. Have a good one. Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
Peace out.
Later.
Can All right, that was a great podcast. I mean, great interview. Great podcast.
Yeah, that's it, dude. You just throw that there. It's done. All right, so we segue to after the interview.
We gotta plug their socials.
Yeah, we'll plug their social and then we'll end the interview.
Their socials. You gotta do it.
I'm hoping it's at Amarionette.
You can reach Amarionette at Amarionette on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tinder.
Please,
definitely Tinder. Reach him on Tinder for sure.
That
was a dope interview, though. I enjoyed it.
was a very good interview. I have to say, because like the guys, like they have a lot of knowledge, and it just hearing like the people they've worked with and like all the production they've gone through and all the tours and everything, just very insightful conversation.
Definitely. And we talked about Space Jam, so that was important too.
Yeah, definitely. But if you want to follow Nick or Ron on Instagram, Nick, you can follow
or
Nick
anyone in the band
Nicky.
for that matter.
Yeah, I could sit here and list off all their socials. You know, you got at Izzy's World for Izzy, their wonderful vocalist. You got at Nikki_Rhea for that wonderful Van Halen-esque guitars. You got that bass player who is Ron Wells. He's amazing. He had a great insight on the basketball game. And you got Amari_AJ. You know, you got your whole band right there. You got Amarionette. Go follow them on Instagram and go check out that new album that comes out on 7/21. And they got a new single coming out on 5/22. So, I mean, what are you doing? Go listen to them right now.
We should interview a Marion.
Is there an Amarion? We got Anna Moria, Amarionette.
Amarion.
I believe Amarion is like an R&B or rapper.
Yeah,
that's always what comes up first.
Amarion,
yeah, from like the early 2000s.
Then we get Omarosa from that Apprentice show, and then we got all the
Omarosa and Omarosa.
Yeah,
You said
Omarosa from the Apprentice.
She was a thing before Omarosa.
She was.
Yeah, wow.
In fact, I remember watching The Apprentice when I was a kid for some reason, and
she had
remembering her being backstabbing and shit.
I didn't even know.
I watched a lot of. I watched The Apprentice in business class.
Okay.
And I'm a terrible businessman. I'm a terrible businessman now, so I mean, I guess.
Obviously, you can tell by our success. I'm just kidding. You're a great memer. That's the real. That's how you really find success in business is memes.
Well,
pretty much it worked for everybody else.
And like we said, go listen to them. They've been around since 2011, and they have a bunch of like EPs and a couple of albums, and they've really evolved from like the beginning of the band with their first vocalist to where they're at now.
Definitely.
Yeah, check them out.
And ever evolving.
They have a very wide range of different
flavor.
Flavors exactly.
Delicious flavor.
I have something to bring up.
What's up? Bring it up.
At Dance Gavin Dance's Spotify, and their top
I'm gonna do it right now.
5. Their top 5 has 4 songs from the new album, and "We Own the Night" on as like the number 2 song. "One in a Million," a non-single, is number 1. Like
it's a good song.
That's pretty crazy though. Like "We Own the Night" used to be number 1, I think, and "Headhunter"
Backed.
and "Blood Wolf" were like in the top 3. Like, I don't know, how do you guys feel about that? "One in a Million's number 1. Like I said, "We Own the Night" is number 2, and then followed by "Parody Catharsis," "Three Witches," and "Lyrics Lie."
"One in a Million" is good as fuck, and I feel like y'all don't give it enough credit for being as good as it is, and pretty accessible to everyone.
I don't know. If you go back to the Afterburner episode, I put it in my top 3, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, y'all are always like, how's "One in a Million" number 1? And I'm like, because it's a good song.
That's me.
I'd agree.
That's me wondering why.
Like,
very
it's surprising.
Interesting.
It's a non-single, and like, I don't know. I feel like if there was a non-single that would make it to number 1, it would be maybe "Parody Catharsis" or "Nothing."
Yes.
Cool.
I'm gonna look it up the album real quick and see.
But no, I think "One in a Million's pretty good, honestly. Now, I wouldn't have it number 1, but yeah, I'd agree with Moses. It's a good song, though.
I think looking at it, I think it kind of makes sense, except for maybe "Calentamiento Global." I think could have competed for number 1 for sure.
It was actually on the number 5 spot, I think maybe a week ago, but it got knocked out by I think "Lyrics Lie."
Hey,
I posted about it on the Facebook group.
Honestly, it's like one of
I
my
could
favorites.
see Into the Sunset potentially being on it, but it's also kind of a different flavor. But it also has Bill Murray on it, so you bring Bill Murray fans into it.
It has a chance, yeah.
I guess Parody Catharsis also kind of makes sense too.
A lot of people hate on it, but it's a beautiful song. If you ask me, like
which one? Into the Sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a very pretty song.
Oh yeah, especially like the beginning, like minute or so, personally.
But shout out We Own the Night.
I'm just kind of.
We Own the Night was #1 for like so long, and like it's still like pretty resilient as like #2 track.
Technically, it still is #1. It has the most plays on the page. It's just 1 in a million. It's surging to #1 because it's the most song people are searching out right now.
Yeah.
But in terms of plays, it's still #1. But 1 in a million is probably becoming their most popular song, and it's weird because it's a deep cut. It's not a single. It's not like they're putting extra time to promote it. It seems like the interest around it climbing this chart is causing it maybe to surge and become more popular. Maybe it's because Tillian hits his highest note. Maybe it's because the chorus is catchy. Maybe it's because that one's great. I really like the chorus though.
Yo, he hits his highest note in Parody Catharsis.
I just wanted to say real quick, there's no Afterburner songs on ZZ Top's top 5.
What?
On Spotify. There's no Afterburner songs on ZZ Top's top 5 on Spotify.
Cool.
And that's your fault.
That's my fault. Yeah, I guess I probably should listen to it more. But y'all should too. It's a great album.
ZZ Top, check out.
Every woman goes crazy for a sharp dressed man.
Oh yeah.
Ha.
I mean, shoot.
You get it.
Hey,
even the five fans of ZZ Top got that.
5 fans of ZZ Top.
They got it. The 5 fans that listen to that band that are fans of this podcast got that joke, and we took all the time in the world to address those 5 fans.
Afterburner, ZZ Top Afterburner meme got a lot of looks, but all right, I'll let it slide though.
Did it?
This one time.
It got like 10,000.
It did.
Yeah.
That's like.
I was very surprised.
Like, I was surprised too. I think we all were.
It was my one day to take over memeing, and I don't know.
Hey guys, how long have we been in this like stay-at-home pandemic?
I think yesterday it was 62 days, but hard to say really.
Yeah,
so I got a question for you guys. What was the last show that you guys went to before all this went down? Cash.
I come back to me. I don't really know for sure. I think it might have been the Violent Femmes, and another band.
Yeah, shoot, I'm ready. It was actually the Tillian headliner with Brent Walsh as support in the Orlando show back in it was August of 2019. Nice show, honestly. I haven't seen Tillian's solo work too much, but it was a good show of what he can do, by himself. And, of course, you got Matt on drums backing him up, So it's cool to see all of them.
Yeah, I remember the other band. It was Echo and the Bunnymen and the Violent Femmes, I think, was the last one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Was that like a Donnie Darko soundtrack tour or like something that happened?
Y'all need to stop hating on New Wave. That shit was like some of the best shit ever.
I don't know about that, but
New Wave's awesome.
Hey Ryan, what was the last show you went to?
Actually, the last show I believe I went to. Don't quote me on this. I don't recall going to shows in 2020, but my band played a show with Silas headlining in December 15th. And yeah, it was a great night. Silas played, we played, and shit. Hacienda. I'm going really slow. I feel really bad because like I I talk to these people like all the time, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. So I'm just gonna keep talking while I load that playlist that had all the bands, because they definitely deserve proper respect.
Well,
while I do that, what's up?
I said, while you look that up, do you remember what was the last show you went to that you didn't play?
Before that, it was the Fall of Troy was headlining, and they were supported by the number 12 Looks Like You, Strawberry Girls, and what's Cove's band? Dead American, and Dead American was playing. That was.
Actually,
what's up?
All right, you keep going, but I think I'm gonna change my answer now that I looked it up.
But how was that? That's a beast of a lineup.
No joke.
It was a birthday present because my birthday was the day before, December 12th, and my girlfriend got me tickets for my birthday, and it was a great night. I hung out with the boys from Swim with Gustavo, and I met the homeboy from Adventure. I was gonna say hi to Cove, but I was really nervous. I didn't want to say hi to Cove because that's Cove. He sang like really big deal songs. But I got to meet Nova Charisma, Donovan, and Sergio. They were real nice, real kind guys. Hung out with Denise for like a microsecond from Swamp Posting, and yeah, it was a great night. Birthday present, just a wonderful vibe. I miss shows like that. I miss that vibe. I miss that whole dynamic, and just with the way the world's been, just having that happen has just been kind of a bummer, to be honest.
Yeah, like the last show that I went to, I was actually in Japan. I don't know, like I travel for work, but while I'm traveling, like I always try to catch a show wherever I'm at. So I was in Japan, and I went to go see this band called Soko ni Naru. Like they literally played the same day I got there. So I got off the plane, went to my hotel, like dropped my stuff off, and went straight to the show. And like I had never heard of them. I mean, I started listening to them maybe like a week before. Tyler from Wolf and Bear put me onto them, and he actually said like, dude, this band blows any like Swancore progressive post-hardcore band out of the water. So coming from him, I was like, oh dude, I gotta check these guys out.
Wow, Tyler said that.
Yeah, and they like, dude, no joke, they're amazing, and they put on a great show. So I was pretty stoked that I got to see them, and like I had plans to go and see more shows while I was there, but like that was like pretty much at the middle of pandemic. Like I went to the show, and a couple days later is when they started, when like the things really started to spread, and like the numbers of the COVID started picking up. So, I just kind of didn't go to any shows after that. And I think before that, I actually saw Tiger's Jaw in Australia because I was there for work prior to Japan, and they played their like first self-titled album, like beginning to end, and like that's one of my favorite albums of all time. So it was pretty cool to get to see that and relive those memories. Cash, you said that you changed.
Yeah. I don't know the timeline exactly, but it's either going to be Electric Light Orchestra or this mid-tier like EDM group, but I don't remember their name, so that's it.
Shoo, you out there, Raven?
Only if my friends are like, let's go do that. And otherwise, no.
Well, shoot, I heard it's a scene that's gonna be fun. I had a couple friends that did it myself.
I don't know. I'm not trying to pay money because I'm not that into EDM, so like I don't really want to pay money to see any of the acts usually.
Same, to be honest.
Like I love EDM, but I don't know if I'd really go to like a show. I mean, I have in the past, but it's kind of not really my scene anymore.
I think it's more for people that want to have that whole experience associated around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it's the appeal with the meeting people.
If I could,
you go ahead.
Those bands that I had played that show with, just name drop them because they totally deserve that level of respect. Was Asylus, Unstoppable Force, The Unsung, Orenda, Every Other Year, and Quietude. Those guys are awesome. Go check them out. They play great shows. Cash?
Oh, I was just gonna say I thought it was cool. Like the EDM show was cool because it was like in an abandoned theater or something, or like an old, and I don't know, it was just cool looking, like movie theater. But that's it.
All right, so I don't know. We're probably gonna wrap this up soon. What's everybody been listening to, Ryan?
Me lately, I try to get away from that New Color of Violence just so I could, experience a little couple different things. Craig Owens has this cool ass like playlist that's called Complete, and it just has everything that he's ever been on, including features and all the bands that he's been in. And I've had that on heavy rotation, pretty much like constantly. It's given me like a brand new lease on life, and I'm really all about that right now. But one thing, having with the new Nova Charisma come out, I went back and checked out Exposition 2, and I found like a brand new love for Diary Don't Speak, and that song's just amazing, I'm just going to say. And I feel like maybe Exposition 2 got a little overlooked when it released, but I really like the whole, like all together, it kind of like makes up one album, and all the Exposition just goes good. Like, if I had to listen to something right now, I'd probably go pop that on. But other than that, I've been listening to Holding Absence. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them, but they're like a really good band from the UK. The singer, I've been following him since he was in this band called Falling with Style, and just watching their evolution, it's just like a really, really, really like awesome. Like, if I could compare it to something, I would say it's like Of Machines kind of vibes meets like Shreddy Krueger with like really ethereal like textures and stuff like mixed with the music. But like they kind of have that Seosin vibe where they can go like really light with some songs and then really heavy with others. But other than that, that's kind of just all I've been listening to.
What was their name again?
Holding Absence. They're from the UK.
Cool. David?
Of course, a lot of Amarionette, trying to delve into their discography,
Is there a song that stands out?
Let's see, for Amarionette, honestly, Modern Disco was a really fun little bop. Like, that was one of the first songs I tried, and it just kind of threw me in. Like, I put them on at work, and they brought the vibes, man. They kind of uplifted my mood, and I was vibing from the start, to be honest. Some good stuff. I'd say it was pretty. It was a great opportunity to interview them, so that was pretty awesome. Honestly, man, I haven't been listening to too much music. What is it? Oh yeah, I remember listening to a bit of Logic and some little bit of System of a Down here and there. Or actually, have y'all heard of Brittany Howard?
No. Tell me about it.
Wait, is she the singer for Alabama Shakes?
Yes, she is actually.
Yeah, I've heard of her. I think I've seen her too, but I'm not sure.
Yes, Brittany Howard. She has a solo project, and it's more of a, what is it? It's an alternative kind of vibe, but it seems to be inspired by like some R&B, a little bit of jazz. It's kind of it's some nice stuff. Female singer, really nice voice.
Definitely, she's got a great voice.
Oh yeah, I recommend her. But shoot, how about y'all, Ryan?
Well, Ryan already went. Cash.
All right. So early on in the week, I was pretty poppy. Trying to say this without sounding like I was simping. On Monday, everyone's tweeting about Doja Cat's new single, and so I was like, all right, I guess I'll check it out. And the remix of Say So with Nicki Minaj. And of course, everyone's tweeting about it because Doja Cat made a promise on the interwebs and reneged on it. After that, I went to Dua Lipa, a little Enter Shikari, Mice and Men. I was taking a jog the other day, and like Lionel Richie came on, and like that was actually really nice to run to. I Set My Friends on Fire, Pixies. There's this band, Dance Gavin Dance. Was
They're cool.
one of their albums had a 13-year anniversary this week, so had to check that out.
Right.
What
is it, DBM?
Yeah, Downtown Battle Mountain turned 13.
DTBM.
I'm about to give it another listen, actually.
Downtown Battle Mountain 1.
Give it a bunch of more listens. It deserves it.
So
it's a teenager now.
You know that song Sunday Morning? Did he do that like solo or no? That was a Commodore song, right?
Who?
Like, that group.
Lionel Richie?
Yeah.
Sunday Morning?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of the Velvet Underground is what I'm thinking of right now.
I don't know if it's called Easy or just Sunday Morning, but it's a great song, and Kurt Travis actually covered it on something.
I'm gonna check that out then. And then finally today, LCD Sound System's album "This Is It" turned 10 today. It's been out 10 years, and so I'm listening to that, and that's that and Amarionette, and that's pretty much it.
Nice. I don't know. For me, what have I been listening to? I've been listening to a lot of Cat Company, which I don't know if you guys heard, but they're a progressive post-hardcore band from Florida, and they like released this incredible like 5-song EP back in 2018, and they actually haven't released anything since. But like, dude, that EP goes so hard. Like, if you were to put it in the Swancore genre, I would put it in like my top 5 like Swancore like releases for sure. It's good. If you haven't checked it out, you should. I don't know. They've been like on Facebook, kind of like, I don't know, sending out updates and stuff. And it seems like they were planning on doing a follow-up album, but the COVID kind of put that on hold. So, man, I really hope we get some new music from them. Like, definitely if you're a fan of DGD, Fall of Troy, or Hail the Sun, you should check them out. What else have I been listening to? On this episode, we kind of talked about Ben Rosette. He's a drummer of Strawberry Girls, and he drummed for Eternity Forever. But he has his little solo thing that's kind of like a guitar vibe over some 808s, and he dropped a new song called Flareon, so I've been listening to that a lot. Yeah, he comes hard with those good like chill like summer vibes for sure. And Newfound Glory, they're putting out a new album, and they've been like releasing like, I don't know, singles like almost every other week it seems. But they put out a new one, and like I kind of like it. Like, they're going back to their more older like easy core direction, and I mean they've been a band for so long that I don't blame them for trying to change up their sound and stuff. But I don't know, the new stuff that they're coming out with, sounds a lot more familiar, and like the stuff that I used to vibe with back when they were like my favorite band. Other than that, Ryan actually put me on to Sad Boy Sam. I believe he's a vocalist of Swim Gustavo, and he does kind of like underground hip hop under this moniker. And I don't know, like I dig it. It's a cool like underground hip hop vibe, like kind of the stuff that I used to listen to back in the day when I thought it was too cool for like, I don't know, like mainstream rap.
Like nerd stuff.
Yeah, kind of like that, or even like back when Odd Future had like more of their mellow stuff. Like I get that kind of vibe, or like stuff that was produced by Alchemist, who's like this producer from the Bay Area. He did like a lot of like underground hip hop stuff. In the previous episode when we interviewed Anamoria, their vocalist Joey mentioned that he used to be a big Emery fan, and like I used to love that band too. So I've kind of been listening to like their first two albums. Can't remember the name of the first one off the top of my head, but The Question was their second album, and they're just a kind of like a solid like early post-hardcore band, and more on the heavier side of post-hardcore. I've been listening to a lot of Poison the Well, which like I don't know, they're probably one of like my favorite like heavier bands because there's like a lot of like emotion like in their music. Like I feel like a lot of heavy stuff, like I don't know, can get kind of like boring and easy to zone out to. I don't know, for me, but Poison the Well, they keep shit like interesting. So that's basically what I've been listening to.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess that kind of wraps the episode.
All right. That's the episode for us. My name is Cash Spicer. You can reach me at Cash Spicer on Twitter. You can reach us at Demo Team Podcast on pretty much every social media. We're gonna have Snapchat someday, and Dave will probably run it. Also, I potentially might be starting another podcast, so I will let y'all know about that soon. It's not about music, but it's about a pop culture phenomenon. It's pretty interesting.
That's pretty cool.
But I'll let y'all know the details when that gets settled, which probably will be pretty soon. But I guess, David, take it away.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at David Pottinger, Instagram, pottinger.david. And yeah, it's usually where I'm at.
All right. Ryan?
You can reach me at Ryan / at Instagram. You can reach my band at Stay Still Official on Instagram. I don't really have anything else going on. I've got like tons of music projects backed up, and so I'm hoping to go into the recording studio in July. Just working on stuff like that. But thanks again, everybody, for coming in today. I gotta say an extra special thank you to Amarionette for making the time to let us interview him today. Next week we're going back to talk about the second half of Artificial Selection.
Yes.
But just keep the steam train of announcements coming. We will be recording a future episode with the Seafloor Cinema, so look forward to that.
All right, Moses.
Sweet.
So you can reach me at Through Being Mo on Instagram, and you can just hit up the Demo Team on Instagram, Facebook, and one of us will answer. Shout out to everybody that's been kind of listening to these episodes and giving us some feedback. I am also starting my own podcast. It's about basketball and trap music. I'm just joking.
I want to hear that podcast now, bro. What the hell?
we're all breaking up and starting our own podcast.
I mean, if anybody else were to start a podcast, like Cash especially, I'd support that. If I wanted to start another podcast, I'd support me.
It's just like some bullshit my friends from high school are putting together, so it will not be. I don't think it's going to be anything that big, but kind of a cool concept. I can't say what it is right now because I'm not letting that shit get stolen.
You should definitely do what makes you happy, bro. Like I've had people come up to me like, "Hey, you want to start a podcast?" And like, There's definitely like a lot to talk about out there. Like this podcast format, while I know most people probably just listen to our memes, like podcasts are great. Like I've never usually been one for like on like public talking forums and stuff like that, but I feel like this has been a very excellent experience for me. Helped me be a little more comfortable speaking with people.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm getting better every day.
For everything, man. So yeah. Looking forward to your podcast, Cash. You got our support.
Appreciate it.
Love you.
Love you.
I love you.
Well, I think that's a great way to end the podcast.
Yeah, we love you too, you audience.
Unrequited love.
Much love everywhere.
Deny my love for as long as you want, but you know it's true.
Oh, I know. Pulling a Han
Get
Solo.
a room. You'll have a nice night.
Oh, David didn't get that reference.
No.
There's a reference?
Right. I said I know after you were talking about love.
Oh, yeah? There's a reference?
Yeah.
Thanks for everybody for coming today. Have a great day.
All right. Later.
Bye.